Thank you. Kids, fucking welcome, man, to Smodcastle Cinemas. I'm one of your hosts, Kevin Smith, and this is the last night, the award ceremony, if you will, of the very first Smodcastle Film Festival. Put your hands together, my friends. I'll tell you, like I told Ernie, man, this has been a real delight. And I don't mean to say that in a way that I was fucking shocked and surprised, but my expectations were pretty fucking minimal. And like Ernie put a fucking legit event together. And I realized that when I was doing the panels today at the original Smodcastle over in Leonardo, right next to Quick Stop. Mere feet from where I dreamed of being a filmmaker and where I fucking would write in a journal, like one day I can help open a film co-op so everyone could get a camera and make their own movies and shit like that. I didn't have to do that. Apple did it for you and stuff. So there was another dream on the list, though, that said in 5 years, build a film festival. And so we're living in that fucking dream, even though I'm not the reason we're here today. I've said it many times. I'm going to say it here especially because it's going to tie in to a really nice introduction. This all begins at the Smodcastle Podcast Theater in Leonardo, right next to Quick Stop in the Block of Stores, about a year ago. Ernie refurbished that place, turned it into what it was and whatnot. And after the pandemic, we opened up and started doing shows. And I think it was after like the second show, and we had a crowd of people, and a crowd for us in those days was 50, because that's all that room is legally allowed to hold. Ernie was like, we should do a film festival here. And like, you'd imagine that I've been like, fucking A, but instead, the guy whose entire fucking career began at a film festival was like, why? And he was like, because I've been making films, I've been submitting to film festivals, and it's kind of easy now. Film Freeway makes it easy. We got a space. This is a place where people could show their work and stuff. And so it began at that little theater, a 50-seater with our video screen up top. We got a pretty big TV there and stuff. So we were like, this will be a great place for it. And then we started doing events here at the Atlantic Movie House with Tony. Tony, after the pandemic, reopened what used to be the Atlantic Highlands Twin Cinema when I was a kid. Renamed it the Atlantic Movie House and put it back in business post-pandemic. So we started coming here to do shit like Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, do live events. I'd come to the place over the last 2 years. My friend Janet Peterson works with the Film One Festival, so I'd been here to do benefits with them and stuff. And this is the theater I grew up going to when I was a kid. My father took me here to see movies. I went here all through high school, and on Friday nights, it looked like this, like just fucking packed. You couldn't find a fucking seat and stuff like that. So being back in the theater and like being in the room and working with Tony, like suddenly me and Ernie were like, well, if we're doing a film festival, maybe we could partner up with the Atlantic Movie House and like show some films at Smodcastle and maybe rent a theater in the Atlantic Movie House and show some movies there so it'll feel like a real film festival. And then we talked to Tony about doing a co-op, man, like a conjunction, like let's team up, man. And so that conversation eventually led to Jeff Swanton saying to Ernie, the fucking theater's for sale. And we knew that in the back of our minds. Years ago, Mr. Rast, when I was here for the Film One Fest, Mr. Rast, who we bought the theater from, Mr. Rast was the mayor of Atlantic Highlands at one point. He's a very interesting fucking gentleman. And his daughter was our schoolmate. Me and Ernie went to school with Michelle, Mishi Rast, man, smartest kid in fucking class and shit. And I'm happy to report she turned out really well. She got like a fucking hella husband who I would fuck. And like, he's really good looking. I saw him at the reunion show. I was like, Mish, you did well, man. You might have done too well. Keep an eye on this fucking dude. And she's got beautiful kids and all that stuff. So anyway, Mr. Rast owned the theater, and he had talked about like, you should buy it. You make movies. And I was like, why? What would I do with the movie theater? And then Jeff suggested to Ernie, and Ernie was just like, the movie theater's for sale. And we were in the process of trying to buy Quick Stop at that point, which kind of got put on hold because the toppers are going through a thing. So, I was in the middle of something with Ashley, my partner Ashley, and about Quick Stop, and suddenly it was on hold, and we had a bunch of funds that were going to go into that were just kind of sitting here. And suddenly those funds made a lot more sense if we put it into the theater. So I asked Ash, I was like, I know it ain't a convenience store business, but like, how do you want to be in the movie business, And she was like, yeah. And so suddenly it was me and Ashley and Jeff and Ernie, and then we pulled Tony into it as well, because Tony fucking saved the theater and kept it open and shit. Suddenly we had a fellowship, all came together and bought the theater. And so suddenly the Smodcastle Film Festival, which began in one room, like fucking Little House on the Prairie style, graduated to a multiplex that we actually fucking own. The Smodcastle Film Festival took place in Smodcastle Cinemas, man. The chances of all that playing out in that fucking way and happening the way it did, infinitesimal, and yet it fucking happened, because that's what the power of dreaming can do. It sounds corny as fuck. I know I sound like Tony Robbins, but I'm fucking serious. I stand in front of you as a person who stands in front of you because of the power of fucking dreams. And we're living tonight, not in my dream, but in the dream of somebody that I used to spend my childhood with dreaming, you know, sitting beside going, imagine we did this, imagine we did that. We're both old as fuck, but we're still getting to live those dreams by playing in this fucking giant fun house we've called Smodcastle Cinemas. This place has come along at the exact right time in my fucking life, man, and it couldn't be more welcome. I'm gonna spend, I figure after post-heart attack, I got about like 20 years left for my fucking life. I'm gonna spend fuck you, it's true. It's not a grim thought, man. I'm painfully aware that life is short, man. You know, fucking act accordingly. So I'm gonna spend all 20 of them fucking above this place just having fun. You know, the beginning of my career was like, I want to make a movie. And then the middle of my career was like, I got to keep making movies. What the fuck? And now I'm at a place in my career where I was like, I'll make movies if I want, but what I really want to do is show Black Panther and then do a Q&A after it, even though I had nothing to do with the movie. So people be like, whatever happened to him? How'd he die? They're like, happy but weird. So even though I fucking literally live right above the theater, I'm a half an hour late. Go figure. So thank you for your patience. Tonight, kids, I got to finish that dedication because I didn't finish it. We're only here because of one person, man. A person I love dearly and a person who put all this shit together. And when I was sitting at the at Smodcastle earlier today doing the panels, I'm used to people showing up to things from what I assume is pity. Like when I throw an event, when people show up, I'm like, they feel sorry for me. That's why they come. That's why they spend the money, because they feel sorry for me and shit like that. And generally, it's all about me, right? They're asking me questions about my work and stuff. When we did our second panel today and we opened it up to questions, and every one of those people in the room knew who I was and what I did, but they didn't give a fuck about me. They wanted to talk to the guy from Decentralized Pictures because they're like, that motherfucker can help me pay for a fucking thing. Same with the panel that came afterwards, man. We were talking to Eric Wilkinson from MVD. Everyone was dialed into him. Never mind me and my fucking like ha-ha show and whatnot. They're like, you ain't gonna help me get my movie fucking financed or distributed. These fuckers will. And in the eyes of the audience, I saw myself reflected. I remember being that person who would go to a film festival, sit in the audience, listen to some quasi-professional talk, hoping to grab one more piece of information that might make the journey a little bit fucking easier or make the journey possible at all. So today, when I was conducting the panels at Smodcastle, I realized, holy shit, this wasn't just like a thing where we showed movies and stuff. Like, we became a legitimate film festival. People came here looking for fucking information, and I hope they walked away with some of that information, if not meeting people who might have that information, if not meeting people who can help them make their next flick. If nothing else, I really wish that I was here for every intro and stuff. Sometimes I had to split time and go over there because all of it was so fucking magical for me. And that magic was created by one fucking wizard. He's as old as Gandalf and about as wise, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. You know, you ever watch the Golden Globes, right? And in the beginning of the Golden Globes, they're like, this year's Golden Globette or whatever is some famous fucker's kid. And it's always somebody, this is Alec Baldwin's kid or something. That's the tradition, like Nepo babies galore and shit. So in the tradition of that, I would like to introduce you to our trophy gal tonight, the lady who will be handing me the trophies that I give off to the winners. Please welcome Castle Keeper Ernie O'Donnell, ladies and gentlemen. Speech!
You are a dickhead. Not many people can say go fuck himself on stage, but I will say it. This guy doesn't know how much I love him, but yes, he's made a lot of my dreams come true. And when we were kids, like he said, we wanted to be in the movie business together. We started out. What did we start with? What was it? Indiana Jones with what was it?
Indiana Jones and the Lost Ball.
Yes. So we found I think it was an incense statue at a place called Mrs. Wig's Trunk in Highlands, and that was our lost ball. So actually Kevin wrote a script. He played Belloc. And of course,
which really consisted of me just doing one line over and over. Jones, I'll give you one last chance, Jones. Like, because there's a moment in the movie where he's yelling up at fucking Indiana Jones, but I would do that right to Ernie's face. Jones.
It was the greatest thing ever. It was probably the spark of one of the many things that brought us here today. It took us a long time to get here, but God, am I so proud that we're here. And to do it with anybody else would just not be right. To do it with my man Kev, who I call Smitty, for 42 years is fucking amazing. So I want to thank him for entrusting in me and giving me the reins to make this happen, because throughout this whole process, he's been letting all of you know, and his millions of fans on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, that if this thing fucks up, it's Ernie's fault. And that's the truth. And that's okay, because I can handle that. And I'm hope we did a good job for you guys, and we are looking forward to having you back for next year. Thank you.
Okay, kids, let's get to the meat of why we fucking came here tonight, man. Awards are tricky things, especially for a guy who doesn't win them anymore. You know, I would love to be able to be like, oh, fucking awards, they mean nothing. It's all about the pursuit of the truth and the lie that tells the truth and stuff, and that's absolutely true. But the fact of the matter is I've never been in it for the prizes or the awards. I didn't think I'd ever do anything award-worthy. In the beginning of my career, they thought differently, and they would give me awards and shit. And then a couple of years into my career, they got smart, and they're like, he don't get no more awards and stuff. And at that point, I developed this weird theory where I was like, you know, I don't do it for the awards. Fuck awards and stuff like that. So we don't do it for the awards, but it's always nice when there are awards. And just because there are awards doesn't mean that somebody who doesn't win one isn't worthy by any stretch of the imagination. God bless you. I hope that's not fucking COVID, man. We're just getting out of the dark ages, fucker. So everyone, of course, who I'm not even going to do all the nominees are winners and shit. I'm going to go deeper than that. Anybody who made a fucking thing, you're already won. You're already and that's no hype. That's no bullshit. Doesn't matter if you walk away with a goofy trophy or not like that. You've done something that fucking 98% of the population is never going to bother to fucking do. Ever. You're a fucking astronaut. There's only one of fucking 10,000, 20,000 of you in the world right now. Now, I don't mean people that dream about doing a thing. I mean people that fucking execute and elevate that thing. Everyone can dream. That's the equal opportunity employer right there. But to take the next step and make it a fucking reality, to manifest reality from pure imagination, that's some Willy Wonka shit right there. And that means you win instantly. That being said, we took the fucking smart approach because when we were building the festival, Ernie was like, do we bring together a panel of judges and shit like that? And I was like, what? Give somebody a reason to hate me again? No fucking way. I was like, we shouldn't be the judges. The audience should be the judge. Let's put it on them. And so you all voted and judged, and that's how we've got to the prize. People who get prizes. Oh, fuck, look at them. They're fucking nice. I didn't realize they were behind me. I was so blazed. You're going to walk away with one of these fucking cool statues and shit like that. Here we go, kids. We're going to go starting with Best Actor Drama in the short film category. The nominees are Heather Britton O'Scanlan, victim number 6. Colin James O'Gorman, Eugene vs. Humanity. Sean Joseph Young, Sometime Else. David John Phillips, Sugar. And Nick Walker, Dream of Me. And the prize for Best Actor Drama Short goes to Heather Britton O'Scanlan, victim number 6. Come on up, Heather. What the fuck? 5.
Thanks so much.
Speak.
Wow. Holy cow. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Did not expect this. I won't keep you going because we're already running a little late, so I'm conscious of that. But I thank you. Gosh, this is, wow, it's a pig. You guys, it's a heavy golden pig.
No, it's not a pig.
It's not? What? Oh, it's a cow. It's a cow. It's a cow. It's a heavy golden cow, and it's the most beautiful heavy golden cow anyone's ever given me. No, actually, seriously, thank you. Thank you, Ernie and Kevin and everybody involved with the festival. Feels really good to be up here. My director, Nancy, couldn't be here tonight. She got sick, unfortunately, not COVID, but sick. Russ was here earlier, our leading man. It was the first time he got to see it in a theater, which was so nice. And this is a theater that I've been coming to for 20 years. So thank you for buying it and keeping theater alive. And thanks to all you. Thank you. Wow.
Okay, the next pig goes to, sorry. Next up, we're doing the Best Actor Comedy Short category, ladies and gentlemen. And our nominees are Jake Barkus for Brew Story. Correct me if I'm wrong, Christine Salazzi. Thank you for My Friends the Plants. Chris Gethard, The F Word. Godfrey for The Tramp. And Kelly Vrooman for Rekindled. And the Best Actor Comedy Short Trophy pick goes to Kelly Vrooman, Rekindled. Come over here, we're going to take a picture.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. So I am not Kelly, but Kelly is one of my best friends who starred in Rekindled. And we make a lot of things together. We both love making movies, and every time something like this happens, it gets us closer to our next one. So thank you.
Okay, we're going to Best Comedy Short, kids. Here we go. The nominees were, or are, Brew Story. Give it up for him. The F Word. Give it up for him. Jimmy. Give it up for him. Rekindled. And finally, The Tramp. Y'all took direction so well, I stopped saying give it up for him. He just kept giving it up. Well done, man. And the winner of Best Comedy Short is Jimmy. Come on up.
Well, this is fucking awesome.
Pretty sweet.
Our short Jimmy has a 13-inch penis in it, which is pretty cool. It's probably has something to do with it. This is awesome, yeah.
Quick story, we were at Sundance. We went to go see a movie called Sweetheart. We had the ticket. We didn't get in because we were slightly late. And we were walking through the parking lot saying, what have we seen a lot of this year? Wieners. So we said, let's put a dick in our next movie. Hey!
Cheers.
Well done, boys. There it is, kids. That's the secret to success. Huge dick. Okay, we're moving on, folks. These are the nominees for the Best Drama Short category. Here we go. Dream of Me. The Fourth. The Invention. Matthew. Squall. And the winner of the Best Drama Short award goes to Dream of Me. Oh my God, it's not an award ceremony until somebody's not here. I'll accept it because this is fucking awesome. This is going up in my apartment. Thank you, everybody. I really feel like I worked hard for this. Everyone's a winner. Best edit. Fucking A, man. Way to respect the editors and shit.
Kevin is a wonderful editor, and I thought if I didn't put it in there, he'd fucking, beat the shit out of me or something. I had to get edit in there.
How come?
He loved your fucking edit machine.
I know, but
I edit my own movies. Look at me, Ma. Fucking edit.
Like, it began with me complimenting you, and then you attack me for being an editor.
I told you, I'm getting you back to Jersey ways, baby. Come on.
It's true. That felt very Jersey. It's why I lived in California for the last 20 fucking years. All right, here we go, kids. Best edit, or best meaning the best editing. Editing of film. Okay, here we go. Best editing, ladies and gentlemen. Everything's Fine, A Panic Attack in D Major. Fetch. Guiltless. Sometime Else. And finally, Sugar. And the winner of Best Editing, the prize for Best Editing, goes to Everything's Fine, A Panic Attack in D Major.
Wow, this is incredible. Thank you so much. This is the last festival on our festival run, so it means the world to be here home in New Jersey. I'm from East Brunswick, so this is really freaking cool. Yeah, hey, New Jersey. I just want to say thank you to Kevin, thank you to Ernie. This is really great, guys. Thank you so much.
Fellow Cutter. Okay, kids, now we get to Best Cinematography, man. This is the folks that shoot the thing, make it look like what it does. The eyes of any filmmaker is the DP, and that sounds exactly as sexy as I meant it. The nominees, ladies and gentlemen, are Everything's Fine, A Panic Attack in D Major. Fear of the Woods. The Fourth. Karma Bums. And Time Warp. Ladies and gentlemen, the prize as chosen, the award as chosen by the audience for Best Cinematography goes to Karma Bums.
Sure. What's up, everybody? Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, everybody. We all know how hard it is to make something, especially today when the studios are just like keeping us away. But their voices aren't the ones that are that important. They can be, and they're doing the fight, but we have to keep going. And I know it's not that inspirational. I'm not trying to be, but thank you. Thank you very much. And this is Brandon, our main actor. Say something.
Thank you. I love all of you. I don't know what to say. I'm nervous.
And last thing I'll say is we made lifelong friends here. And we're going to all collaborate, and we're going to continue to. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, folks, moving down. Best Original Music. The nominees are Everything's Fine, A Panic Attack in D Major. The Hat Man. The Jogger. Stalked. And finally, Suddenly. In my head, these are all going on the screen behind me. Probably not, right? I was thinking I was somewhere better. Next year. Next year we put all the pictures up. Yeah, year one, right? Fucking give us some room. Fuck off. Next year for sure. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the award for Best Original Music is Everything's Fine, A Panic Attack in D Major.
You already served for me, so this is Dave Seaman, the wizard behind the music from this movie.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, all of you. Also, as a guy from New Brunswick, New Jersey, it's so special to be here. So special to be here at Smodcastle. And music is the language of our soul. The day that Zach and I had to teach the music to the cast, we met at a piano room in Columbia about 30 minutes before the cast was going to show up, and we wrote the songs. So I'm so glad this worked out. Thank you.
Okay, folks. Next up, we're doing Best Ensemble, which is just all the actors, right? There it is. All of the actors, ladies and gentlemen. The nominees for Best Ensemble are Darts, Dead on the Vine, Maybe Someday, The Invention, and The Tramp. And the Best Ensemble Award goes to Dead on the Vine.
I've been very lucky enough to be in two of the films by this writer and director, Mark Brown, and his films keep on winning Best Ensemble, and that has got to be something about the teams that he puts together. So this is for you, Mark.
Thank you to Ernie and Kevin.
Okay, kids. We're up to Best Documentary Short. And to do this, I'm gonna hand off the mic. Why don't you go help and I'll intro. Kids, we're not sitting here today if the first film I made didn't work out for me. And it worked out for me. It literally came down to one person. I didn't make the film to go to Sundance, to the film festival. I thought our film wasn't Sundance worthy. All I knew about Sundance was that Steven Soderbergh won it for Sex, Lies, Videotape. That movie was in color, and Andie MacDowell was in it. She'd been in other movies. So as far as I was concerned, Sundance was for better films than mine. We weren't aiming for that. We were aiming for the IFFM, the Independent Feature Film Marketplace, not even a festival. It was an event that the IFP, the Independent Feature Project, would throw every year at the Angelica Film Center. And I'd seen a news report about it. There was a thing called Made in New York that they put on like TV years ago. In one section of it, they talked about this IFFM, this marketplace, where people would bring their films, young filmmakers, and hope to find distribution for them and stuff like that. Then I'd had an article that was in the Village Voice that Amy Taubin had written about Richard Linklater, who made the film that inspired me to become a filmmaker, a film called Slacker. And in that piece, she talked about how Richard had gone to the IFFM the year before as a work in progress, and then he was there that year with a finished film that Orion Classics was releasing in theaters and stuff. So that document was a map to me, a treasure map. It still exists in my office back home in New Jersey, framed in a cheap plastic frame that I bought like back in the early 90s, because that was like the moment in the Matrix where fucking Neo sees zeros and ones. I read that article and I was like, oh my God, it's this simple. All I have to do is make a movie and go to the IFFM and all my dreams will come true. And it didn't quite work out that way. Ultimately it did, but in the beginning it didn't. The marketplace is not a festival. You pay a certain amount of money and you get a slot and stuff like that, and it's up to you to fill that slot with as many potential distributors, exhibitors, press as possible. You're meant to do all the work. They're just giving you a venue in which to show it and a time when a bunch of other people who are in this world might be around and be interested in watching and stuff. So the onus is on you. So me and Scott Mosier would go up to the city every day and hang up like posters for the movie, handmade billets and stuff for Clerks, which was screening on Sunday, October 3rd at 11 a.m., which I kept telling Scott Mosier and anybody who would listen, of course they put us at the end of the marketplace. We're the best fucking film. So clearly somebody knows that the future is bright for us, and they put us in the sweetest fucking spot, man, Sunday morning at 11 a.m. when everyone gets up and wants to watch movies and shit. So we went every day to the marketplace, and it was packed. We saw movies like Lodge Kerrigan made a movie called Clean Shaven that also went to Sundance later on and stuff, and it played at a bunch of festivals. The screening was fucking packed. We went and saw a documentary, a mockumentary called The Making of and God Spoke, about the production of a biblical film. Very funny, fucking packed. So each time we went to a screening, it was packed. And me and Mosier were like, God, Sunday's gonna be so packed and so fucking amazing. It's gonna be unbelievable and shit. We were prepared. We'd seen what it looked like, and we were like, oh, our shot's coming. And then Sunday morning came, and we were outside the Angelica, and we took pictures. You could see them on that Secret Stash book or anywhere online, these black and white pictures that exist from that fucking day, October 3rd, about 10:30 in the morning, before I go into the Angelica and discover that nobody wakes up on a Sunday morning to go see films, and the only people who were in the theater were people who worked on the movie with me. So it was me, Jeff Anderson, Brian O'Halloran, Scott Mosier, David Klein, Marilyn Gigliotti, Lisa Spoonhour, Vincent Pereira was there, Eddie Hapstack, because he was taking pictures, Kristen Mosier, Scott's sister, who I was dating at the time, and that was it. We walked into the theater, and we were alone in the fucking theater. It was just like going to see a Kevin Smith movie nowadays. You walk in, and you're like, is this part of the joke? So we were alone in the theater, and that was the crashing of my dreams. That was the first moment that it had ever occurred to me that this wouldn't work. And I was like, I read that article. I knew everything I was supposed to do. I checked all the boxes. I made it flick. I'm bringing here the IFFM. Like, what do you mean I'm not going to have the same experience as Richard Linklater? And for the first 10 minutes of Clerks, as it played for the first time anywhere publicly, on a big screen in a legit fucking movie theater and stuff, my only 16 millimeter print, all I could think throughout the first 10 minutes was just like, what the fuck have I done? like, this looks like it was shot through a glass of milk. And everybody is cursing their fucking heads off. Like, why did I think I was a filmmaker? This is unbelievable. I've gone to movies my whole life. Never once did I think about making a movie. I saw Richard Linklater do it. I was like, maybe I could do that too. I was like, pride goeth before the fall. I've been hoisted on my own petard. I had a running monologue about what an idiot I was. That was the whole first 10 minutes of Clerks, as I watched it pretty much just as a cast and crew screening. There was some other bodies in the room, and they might have come in when the movie was going on and shit, but I wasn't focused on them. I was focused on the bodies that weren't in the fucking room. Important lesson, kids, sidebar, is always focus on the people who show up. Don't matter who don't come. Who matters is who comes. And that was never truer than on that day. So, at the end of that screening, you know, by 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the screening, the panic attack had subsided, and I cognitively reframed the whole experience. I was like, look, you spent $27,575 making this movie. That is cheaper than 1 year of Tisch Film School, which at that point was $40,000 a year. So I was like, for 1 year of Tisch, you got to make a whole ass movie that's yours. So like, don't sell out on this. Yes, it cost a lot of money, and you're gonna be paying this movie off on your credit cards probably for the better part of the rest of your life. This means you're gonna have to get a second job in addition to Quick Stop, but do that. And like, this is honestly, I swear to Christ, the monologue that went through my head about 10, 15 minutes into the first public exhibition of Clerks. I said, make sure you do that. Pay off your bills, and then do this one more time before you die. Because you loved who you were when this was happening. For the first time in your life, you felt like you were in the right exact place and who you are supposed to fucking be. So don't let the lack of success make you sell out on this and run and be like, yeah, I knew it was a dumb idea. What the fuck was I thinking? Don't pull your movie out once a year to watch it to be like, there's the guy who fucking ruined everything for us and shit like that. Don't sell out on it. Do it again because you think it feels right. So by the middle of the screening, I was able to kick back and relax and realize that I was watching the movie that I made with my friends in a movie theater where I was inspired to make a movie only 2 years and change prior. That's when I saw Richard Linklater's Slacker was on my birthday, August 2nd, 1991, my 21st birthday. And there we were watching Clerks, you know, in an empty theater, but on October 3rd, 1993. So 2 years, 2 months, like to aggregate to a fucking dream come true. And for the beginning of that dream come true, all I could focus on was like, oh, it wasn't the exact fucking dream I had and shit. Wasn't until I got comfortable with it where I was like, look at what you did. Like, you, of all fucking people, you're here in this movie theater watching your fucking movie, man. Like, enjoy it, man, enjoy it. So I did. I kicked back and I enjoyed that shit. Now, at the end of the movie, there were 4 people in attendance who were not part of my party. I often talk about 2. I'm gonna tell you about one. During the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Roadshow tour, some guy gave me an envelope, and on the front he said, I was at the very first screening of Clerks at the Angelica. Me and my then girlfriend were not together anymore. We sat, he told me exactly where he sat, and I knew exactly who the fuck it was and shit. And so he came backstage and I talked to him. I was like, why did you fucking go? And this is years later, literally like 27 years later. I was like, why did you fucking go? And he was just like, we hadn't had anything to do. It was cold that morning. So we went into the theater because it was warm and shit. And he's like, and we thought the movie was cool. And I remember saying to my girlfriend, he might go places someday. And he goes, you fucking went places and shit. And I was like, I did, thank you. So they were there. They came in at a certain point during the movie theater, during the screening, just to get a warm theater. And they stayed for the show. That was pretty nice. I didn't speak to them after the screening. I spoke to a woman who came up to me and she said, she looked very dire. And she goes, do you know people like the people you put in this movie? And I was one of the people that I put in the movie. And I was surrounded by people who I'd put in the movie. Who were those people and shit? And I was like, a little bit. And she goes, ugh, fucking hate New Jersey. And I was like, oh, that's where we made the movie. And she goes, I know. And she goes, I got a theory that all the Nazis who ever died are reincarnated, and that's what populates New Jersey. That was the first review of Clerks I ever got. And after she said that, I wasn't clever enough to come up with a witty retort. I was like, oh, that was all I said. And then during the pause after that, she goes, I guess I'll give you my headshot. And she gave me her headshot. She was an actress. And that actress is Jennifer Lopez. No, I was kidding. I don't know who that fucking actress was, but that's who I spoke to after the first screening of my movie. Now, Scott Mosier, on the other hand, spoke to somebody else. Scott Mosier spoke to a guy who had come in and he was sitting at the front. I remember his bald head at the front of the theater. It was like Mystery Science Theater before it was fucking Mystery Science Theater. And he was watching the movie and he laughed. Periodically, I heard that dude guffawing and shit. It made me feel kind of good in this moment of misery where I was like, nobody's fucking here. Well, that guy's fucking laughing. But he didn't have a badge that indicated Miramax, Fine Line, or Importance or anything like that. His badge said his name and it said ICI, which meant nothing to me and shit. So I didn't pursue that guy. I didn't pursue the Nazi lady either. She fucking pursued me. Scott, was there, and the guy with the ICI badge came up to him and started saying nice things to him. I wasn't there for the conversation, but this is what Scott reported. He said, I talked to a guy, because I told Scott, I was like, I met the Nazi lady. And he goes, well, I met somebody better. I said, who? He goes, a guy who said we should submit to Sundance. And I was like, was he from Sundance? And he goes, no, it was from a company ICI or something. And I was like, well, why would we submit to Sundance? There's color movies and movie stars. He says, it's not always that. He says, like, we are a Sundance movie. He's like, this is what the U.S. Film Festival, which Robert Redford came in and turned into the Sundance Film Festival, was predicated on. It was like finding the outsider voices, not necessarily the people who are competent at what they do, but just people who could tell a fucking story that captured a piece of Americana. And so he was telling Scott that this movie does that. You should submit to Sundance. And so that was it. Walked away. And I'll be honest with you, we didn't think about submitting to Sundance. It's not like we after that said, yeah, that's the next step. I was done. I had only planned up to the IFFM. My dream had only gone that fucking far. I never went beyond that because I thought everything would happen there and shit. So I was ill prepared for what happened next. And I had 12 hours to wallow in fucking misery and think about what I'd done and how it was so fucking stupid and shit. And then in the morning, I got a phone call. And it was a woman going, hi, I'm looking for Kevin Smith. I said, hi, this is Kevin Smith. She goes, I'm Amy Taubin. I write for the Village Voice. And I was like, okay, who is this really? And she goes, it's Amy Taubin. I was like, bullshit. This is Brian Johnson put you up to this, didn't he? Like, who would fucking know that, like, Amy Taubin, like, has an article on my fucking wall? And she goes, what? And I was like, yeah, I fucking, the Reels and Deals article about Richard Linklater is framed and hanging on my wall, written by Amy Taubin. She goes, well, this is going to be the best interview I ever fucking gave. And I said, are you really Amy Taubin? She goes, yeah. She's going, nobody's ever accused me of not being who the fuck I am. So weird. I was like, how'd you get this number? She was like, I called the number that was in the IFFM program guide, and a man answered. He said he was your father, because I had listed my parents' home phone number and stuff. And so I was like, that was my father. And he was like, she goes, I know, because only a parent would be as surprised as he was that someone was interested in your movie. I was like, really? She goes, yeah. He was just like, someone wants to see my son's movie? That's weird. And he goes, yeah, here's a number you could reach him at. And she's like, and so I'm calling you. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, I mean, why are you calling? She goes, I heard that your movie was the undiscovered gem of the marketplace. And so I was like, who said that? She's like, I'm not at liberty to say, but I trust his opinion very much. So will you send me a copy of this, Clerks? I'd like to include it in my Reels and Deals article this year. The same article that I had cut out, I was gonna be in 1 year later or 2 years later. I was like, holy fucking shit. It'll never get better than this. Then the phone rang 10 minutes later, and it was a guy who's going, hi, I'm Larry Kardish. I work for Run, New Directors, New Films. It's a sister program to the New York Film Festival. You can only ever do it once as a filmmaker with your first film. And so I didn't even know about this thing. He called out of the blue and he was like, we're interested in your movie Clerks. I said, why? How'd you hear about it? He goes, I heard it was the undiscovered gem of the marketplace. And I was like, from who? And he's like, I'm not at liberty to say. He's going, but the person who told me about it, I trust a great deal. So would you send me a copy? We would like to see if we'd like to include it. And I sent him a copy, and New Directors, New Films was, I think, the second film festival I ever played at over in the Museum of Modern Art. Man, it was fucking massive. Third person that called was Peter Broderick. Peter Broderick wrote a series of articles for Filmmaker magazine in those days where he would talk to filmmakers and they would break down their process and their most importantly their budgets. In those days it wasn't like now where if you want to know something you go to the internet and look it up, you'll probably find that information. Filmmakers kept their budgets very close to the vest because they didn't want fucking distributors, potential distributors, to know how much they spent so they can jack up the purchase price, hopefully get as much as possible. So that information was vaulted, which means you didn't know what things cost if you didn't do it yourself, and we'd never done it, so we didn't know what anything cost. But Peter Broderick wrote this article that had The Laws of Gravity, which was Nick Gomez's movie, The Living End, which was Greg Araki's movie, and a movie called Together Alone. I forget the name of the filmmaker, but it was a $7,000 movie set in an apartment with two guys, very close to like what Clerks was, essentially. So each one of these movies broke their budgets down and what things cost. This is how much the film cost, like the actual film, the process, raw film that they used to shoot the movie. This is what a Nagra, a recording device to record all the sound cost. This is what renting of a Steenbeck cost. This was golden information for people that didn't have access to that information and stuff. And so Peter Broderick called me, the third person that morning, and he was just like, "Hi, I've heard that Clerks is the undiscovered gem of the marketplace." I was like, what? Are you really Peter Broderick? I was like, because we used your article to figure out what Clerks was going to cost. We figured, like, based on the three, that if we hit 25,000, we would start worrying. Anything over that was worry time and shit. And he's like, what'd your movie cost? I was like, 27,575. I've been worried for so long and shit. And he goes, well, I would like to profile your film in a similar article to the one you're talking about. And I was like, I'll do that in a heartbeat, but you got to tell me right now. I was like, who fucking told you about the movie? Like, nobody was there except a chick who said I was a Nazi. Like, was she the Golden Path? Like, what? And he goes, there was a man at your screening named Bob Hawke. And Bob Hawke saw your movie, and he's been telling literally everybody about your film. And I was like, why? And he's like, fucking loved it, I guess. He's going, so please don't pass on the information. I know he wants to keep it discreet and stuff. He doesn't want to get hounded by other filmmakers, but he was the one responsible. I was like, can you get me this guy's number? He's like, I can see if he wants to give his number to you, and I'll put you in contact. And so it took about a week, and finally I was put in contact with the person who had literally changed my life, Bob Hawke. I called him Mr. Hawke for the first 2 years of our friendship because you needed that honorific. When somebody changes your life irrevocably, you can't just call him Bob. So he was Mr. Hawke, like forever. We met Bob, and Bob talked about why he went to see Clerks. I was like, why did you go to this movie? I was always fascinated, still to this day, always fascinated by what makes a person choose my bullshit over somebody else's bullshit. And considering that nobody else was there, like Bob got up early on a cold fucking Sunday morning in October and went to that movie. So I was like, what brought you to that theater? What made you see that movie? That made you talk to all these people and shit like that? And like literally, suddenly I went from like wanting to never wake up again to like fucking like, I can't wait to wake up tomorrow to find out what happens fucking next. Like, what made you go to the theater? And Bob was like, the photo in the catalog that you listed was so sad and terrible. It instantly made me feel sorry for you. And he goes, and I had to see what kind of film put that photo in the catalog. So he's like, I got up early and I came, and I'm so glad I did. Your film like spoke to me. I'm from New Jersey. I'm originally from the state. I think it's an important film, and I think you should submit to the Sundance Film Festival. I'm an advisor. I tell them the movies I like, and they take them into consideration. I'm gonna sing the praises of this movie. So we did submit to Sundance, and Bob did sing the praises to the movie. And we're in Atlantic Highlands, so we're not very far from where this happened, 3 miles away from the moment my life changes forever. And I'm working at Quick Stop, and I'm behind the counter, and Bob Hawke calls me and he goes, Kevin, I just want you to know they have narrowed down the 450 submissions this year to 20 films. And your film is one of the 20. Now, you know they only take 14. He's going, but right now, you're so close. And I don't know what's gonna happen. He's going, I talk to these people all the time. I know that some people really love your movie, and I know that some people hate it and don't think it should be a part of the festival. It's not indicative of American film. They think it's amateurish and sloppy. But then there are other people that think that this is exactly what Sundance is all about. He's going, but I can't guarantee which way it's going to go. But I just thought you should know that like this little movie that you didn't think was good enough to go to Sundance is now in consideration and made it to the top fucking 20. And I was like, it can't get better than that. And he goes, it can, but it might not. So I was like, thank you, Bob. Thanks for calling, man. And I hung up, and I was feeling like, you know, you got to remember, when we showed at the IFFM, all of my hope fucking died that day. And it was slowly being rekindled and reborn with all these phone calls and all this traction. And suddenly hearing that, like, the movie got close at Sundance was enough, you know? It's like, I don't have to be the best. I just want to get fucking close, especially considering we'd never fucking done it before. So I hung up the phone. I went back to work, ringing up fucking people and stuff. And then 20 minutes later, the phone rang. And it's the same payphone that Dante uses in Clerks, if you've ever seen that movie. And I go over to the phone, I pick it up, and he goes, Kevin? And it's Bob, and I go, Bob. And he goes, you're in Sundance Film Festival. My life fucking changed instantly. One person can absolutely make a fucking difference. And this person made such a difference in my life. He's never left my life. Shortly after that, he wound up moving in with me, and we lived together for 2 years in Red Bank over Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. He was there when I put together Mallrats. He came with me and Scott to the Black Tower at Universal to pitch Mallrats. We were all hanging out with Bob for his birthday in Los Angeles. We took him, and he'd never been to Disneyland. We went to Disneyland. And then my then agent was like, Universal wants you to come in and pitch right now. And I was like, we're in fucking Disneyland. We got Bob. It's his birthday. They're like, bring Bob. So we went back to the Black Tower and fucking pitched at Universal, and the whole time they were like, who's the old man? And at first we were like, that's our grandpa. But we were like, that's Bob. Without Bob, nobody sees Clerks, and you guys even have this conversation with us. And Bob was like, I've never seen a pitch, go on, you know. And we pitched, he was there for that. When I was building Chasing Amy, after everything fell apart, man, a lot of people like Mallrats now, but when it came out, it fucking died, my career died with it. Were it not for Chasing Amy, it resurrected my career and made people think that I was a good filmmaker or something like that. And the person who was there when I was writing it every step of the way, the guy who was fed pages every fucking night, including the pages where I came to like a certain point in the script where Bob's like, what happens next? And I was like, Bob, this is gonna be a little out there, but I think I'm gonna have Holden suggest they all have a fucking threesome. And Bob, who's a wonderful man and also gay as the day is long, was like, fucking do that. He goes, oh my God, that would be so brave, Kevin, do that. And I did, and it changed my fucking life again, man. Like, people considered me a brave filmmaker because I had this geriatric man going, do it, do it, do it, like the devil. This person is one of my favorite people in the entire fucking world, and when we were building the festival, I told Ernie, we gotta reach out to Bob, he's gotta be involved in some way. So here to present the documentary categories is the man without whom none of us would be here tonight, Robert Hawke, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy. Okay. That was a fucking long introduction. And I'm only gonna say fuck twice, and I've already said it twice, okay? I want to keep this short, and I do keep it pretty short in comparison. Anyway. One thing about why I went to see Clerks at 11 a.m. on a Sunday morning, the still was shitty. And that's my last shit. Okay. But the synopsis intrigued me because it was about a convenience store, and I'd never seen a film in a convenience store, and I thought it was a great setting to make a comment about life in America. And I don't know, I said, this could be an awful movie, a really terrible amateurish movie. I don't know, but I'm a Jersey boy, and this is a Jersey film, and I will give it 15 to 20 minutes, and at this point in the market, I don't sit through a whole film unless it grabs me. And so you sit in your seat in a certain way, which is not leaning back and relaxing. You have your hand on your bag, and you're ready to go, but you want to give it time. And by 15, 20 minutes at most, I relaxed. I sat back. I took my hand off my bag, and I said, I'm in for the ride. And I do feel it was a very, and is continued to be a very important film. So, mwah. Anyway, so I have that. Okay, so I don't, yeah, right. Okay, so anyway, I was really very happy in my retirement. I am retired, but I was very happy when Ernie and Kevin asked me to watch the documentaries, and I was very impressed with the quality of the submissions. And it was very hard for me to choose all the competition. Now, you, the audience, chose who won, but I want everyone who made a documentary to know I was really impressed for the first year of any festival, even if it is Kevin and he is global, but I was really impressed. So anyway, the first award is to Best Documentary Short, and the nominees are Apartment 38, Bendix Sight Unseen, How America Killed My Mother, Wood Vibrations, and Valerie. And the winner is Apartment 38.
It's Movie Cow. This documentary I worked on, Apartment 38, and I won't keep you long, but it's about my great uncle Alfonso, who recently passed away about 2 years ago. And it's about a firstborn American generation here from Italy. And if he was here today, he'd be so proud that not about this whole crowd being able to see his story, being able to hear his song, New Jersey, his theme song. So I know if he was here today, he'd be very, very, he would be very proud. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for attending the festival. Ernie, Kevin, thank you so much for hosting this. And to all of you for entering films, congratulations. Thank you very much. sorry, everybody. I told my partner I would give Kevin Smith one of these. It's an official Apartment 38 t-shirt. Woo! Hey, babe.
Okay. Best documentary feature. At the Drive-In. Book of Hearth. History of Metal and Horror. Journey to Royal, a World War II rescue mission. And Peter Case, A Million Miles Away. And the winner is Book of Hearth. I will accept the... Oh, your hair! Good! Come on, come on!
Holy shit. This has been 6 years in the making for me. The film is about an artist who collected celebrity signatures in a Bible for 20 years, so talk about devotion. And I think that's what we all have here as filmmakers. And at the end of the day, it's about friendship, because me following him around for a year, we became good buddies. And that's what we really need. We got to stick together. And I have my good friend Sammy here. He did the music for it. And just like how the subject ran up to celebrities bothering them, I ran up to Kevin one day in February of 2020, right before the pandemic, and I interviewed him. And for the film, and he's in it, and he gave me the warmest fucking hug I've ever received from a man. And I want to recreate that right now. Give me a fucking hug. Thank you, everybody. Sammy.
Holy moly, thank you so much. Really means a lot. And I've come to a lot of these award ceremonies, and I haven't enjoyed them. But this man is such a wonderful storyteller. I've been captivated all night, so thanks. And this has been great. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we are at, putting that aside. Okay, folks, we're at the Best Actor Comedy Feature category. And the nominees are Rebecca DeMarco, Marijuana Minutes. Richard Holman, Songs of the Sloth. Alex Molina, Afternooner. Dylan Riley Snyder for Crabs. And Jeremy Risch, am I right? Risch, thank you. Why is the E there? Never mind, we'll talk later. Jeremy Risch for the Marshmallow Mystery Tour. And the winner of the award for Best Actor in a Comedy Feature is Rebecca DeMarco, Marijuana Minutes.
Hi, I wrote a speech and I'm going to take as long as I damn well please.
Time to go smoke.
Yeah, get out of here. Smodcastle has been amazing. Everyone that I've met has been so kind and generous, and thank you. It means the world. I'm not gonna cry yet. There's a lot to get through. And I can't wait for next year because you guys really nailed it. And I'm not just saying that because I won, but really this has been an amazing, amazing experience. Ryan, thank you for giving me space on set to be a little weirdo. I've never met a more collaborative director, and the movie was better for it, and I'm really, really appreciative. Justin, Nick, Mike, Monica, you've stroked my ego on and off set since day one, and it means a lot to me, obviously, as an actor. My ego's big already, and it helps. Jared, you're one of my closest friends. Thank you for driving me to set most days. I'll pay you back at some point. Eventually, we'll talk later. Sophia, I love you. You're the best scene partner that I have ever worked with. You're an amazing actress and a more amazing human. Don't move to LA for selfish reasons. I did have the chance to scope out my competition. I got to watch Afternooner and the Marshmallow Mystery Tour today. They were both hilarious and amazing films, and I'm even more humbled accepting this award for seeing them. I didn't get to see the other movies in my category, but I did stalk you on IMDb. So if you want to be friends, I promise I'm nice. Just come up later. I was the only woman nominated in my category, so I want to accept this award on behalf of all women who think they're funny. Thank you. Never stop riffing on the bit and don't take no shit from the boys. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I feel like I got yelled at. Here we go, folks. Best actor in a feature, drama feature. Here we go. Sharina Brown, Dead on the Vine. Did I get the name right? Yes. Thank you. Elizabeth Hirsch Tauber, 12 Months. Jenny Raven, Woodland Gray. Tom Sawyer, Dead on the Vine. And Allison Thornton, Guiltless. And the winner of the Best Actor in a Drama Feature category, the award goes to Tom Sawyer, Dead on the Vine.
Wow, thank you. So, Best Actor? So any one of you inspiring or aspiring actors give up now, because best? So, thank you!
All right, folks. Best screenplay, man. Here we go. Writing. This is my fucking favorite subject in the world. Look, directing's cool. We all know that. And shit is the sexy. Acting is the mystery and really the kind of meat of the job. But screenplay, anyone who writes, it's the closest you get to playing God, unless you're a woman and you actually give birth. That's way closer. But for fucking... creating something out of nothing, whole cloth. It's fucking nothing like it. And they say at every fucking award ceremony, like, it all begins with the script. It's true. It's the reason they say that, because there ain't nothing without the power of the words. And here, some powerful words are written by the following folks. Best Screenplay Award nominees, folks, are James Cleave, Sometime Else. Patrick Clement, Must Love Pie. Sam Gill for Fetch. Ari Grab for A King's Betrayal. and Sasha Pasternak for Dream of Me. And the award for Best Screenplay goes to Patrick Clement, Must Love Pie.
No pie in a house.
Well, let's give it to somebody else. The next winner, no. We accept this. Ooh, sorry. We accept this on behalf of Patrick. We should take a picture, though, right? Be Patrick. You were gonna make it my dick, weren't you? I saw it. You were going for it.
Jimmy's influenced me a little bit.
I feel that way. Okay, kids, we're going to Best Director. Look, let's be honest. Directors are the best fucking people on the planet. I have no bias when I say that. It just comes from my own personal experience. The director is the dreamer, the chief dreamer, ladies and gentlemen. Not the only dreamer on the set, and certainly not the only fucking storyteller. I remember one time I was on Red State, and I was walking by, and at a certain point in my career, I stopped directing and started hosting the movies instead. Treating it like a party, because that's what we're there to do, have fun and shit. So I'd go around, talk to everybody, how you doing and shit. I was talking to Scotty Props. I was walking by, I was like, how you doing, Scotty Props? He was like, I'm doing good. I was like, I'm just making my film. He goes, I'm making my film too. I'm just a filmmaker making my film in your film. And it stopped me, and I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, you're making your film, but I'm making my film in your film. And I was like, you're fucking right, man. Like, that's fucking awesome and shit. I was like, don't ever tell anyone that, because everyone thinks the director's in charge. But really, it's everyone makes their own film within the film, and the director's job is to make sure it all coalesces and comes together. The director gets all the credit, even though they don't always deserve it, but the director gets every fucking bullet, man. If the movie don't work, even in the slightest, they don't go like, well, the acting, well, the screenwriter. They go right for the fucking jugular, like this fucking director and shit. I know that because it happens to me all the time. So for my fellow directors out there, I salute you, not only for the glory you'll receive, but for the bullets you take over the course of your career. As we all know, it's worth it. There are two things I say to myself after everything I do. Generally, I have to say it after things that don't work out. It's not necessarily sentiments you say when things succeed. It's definitely helpful sentiment when things fall apart or don't work as you wish. Number one was, no matter what it is, like something like, let's say Yoga Hosers happens, right? And I'm like, fuck, why did I do that and shit? First thing I say is, you wanted this. Oh my God, did you want this? You changed the fucking shape and fabric of the universe to make this happen. You made people come all the way from other. You made Johnny Depp put on makeup for this fucking thing. Like, you wanted this, so fucking enjoy it. Doesn't matter, it didn't work out the way you hoped and shit. This is what you wanted, fucking enjoy it. And the second thing I say is a little easier on myself, and it goes something like this. What was the alternative? Seriously, what were you gonna do? You knew you could do this thing. You knew it was fucking humanly possible. You knew you could make it. You knew you could stick the landing, and you chose not to. Why? Because you were scared? Fuck you. Like, fucking, what was the alternative? There was no alternative. These directors know that there was no alternative, and they're here tonight, and we're celebrating them. Congratulations, my fellow director nominees. Okay. Nominees for Best Director Award. Number one, we go to Clinton Cornwell, 12 Months. Sam Gill for Fetch. Kian Hediati for Karma Bums. Did I get the name right? Yes? Fucking hey, man. 2 for 2. This is where I lose it. Leo McGuigan. He's not here. For The Invention. And Sasha Pasternak for Dream of Me. And the winner, the first time we ever gave a Best or Director Award here at the first annual Smodcastle Film Festival. This is kind of historic for us, man. For the rest of our lives that we do this, there'll always be a first name at the top of the list, and that name for Best Director this year goes to Kian Hediati, man, for Karma Bums.
Wow. That's quite amazing. Thank you, everybody. This movie that we made is, we tried to make something that is about America and what's kind of going on in the whole world. And like I'm sure everybody else that has been involved in films here, we all got screwed in one way or another on set. We got shot at, we got harassed by KKK, knives pulled on us, bit by tarantulas, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people said that we couldn't do it, and a lot of people have said that you guys can't do it, and we're all fucking doing it. So thank you guys very much. And last thing, I forgot to say thank you to my cinematographer who won the last award. Manny Andrade, I love you. Everybody on the team, I love you. Thank you.
Okay. Next up, folks, how many awards we got left? 4, shit. This is almost over. You guys enjoying it so far? I'm with the other guy. Award ceremonies can be painful, but this has been actually pretty fun. But I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, so I've been... Here we go, folks. Horror, Best Horror. The award for Best Horror, the nominees are Children of Sin, Gravedigger, She Picked Me, They See You, and Woodland Gray. And the winner of the award for Best Horror goes to Gravedigger.
Woo! I'm much better at putting words to paper than saying this out loud, but here we go. Years ago, Kevin visited Atlanta, and he told us in a Q&A that it costs nothing to encourage an artist, and I could not agree with that more. Thank you for always doing so. Thank you to everyone who pays that forward, and biggest thank you to my wife, who pushed me one step further every step of the way for this path of making this film. When I said, I have an idea, she's like, you should write that. And I was like, okay, I have a script. She's like, you need to film that. And every single time I faltered, you were there to make sure I took the very next step to get this film done. So thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Kevin, Ernie. Thank you so much for watching our film.
As professional stunt performers, we sometimes get recognized for our work on camera, but to finally be recognized for our work behind camera is such an honor. We hit our heads for a living. How did we write and direct and produce something is beyond me, and it's really thanks to our amazing cast and crew. Thank you guys so much. I literally submitted to this festival day one, so thank you so, so much. And Gravedigger is 30 pages of a full feature film script, and this has inspired me to go way beyond that. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, and I just want to give it up to these two. It's been such a pleasure, and the vision of Lloyd Pitts and Julia Maggio, and thank you so much. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you.
Okay, folks. Now we're into Best Animation. Fuck, I love cartoons. You're not allowed to call them cartoons, but when it's something official like this, but they are cartoons. If I could draw, I wouldn't make all these terrible movies that people hate so much. So I admire anybody who can pull off animation. The nominees for the award for Best Animation are Fetch, The Forbidden Zone, Lady Betty, Message from the Future, and Suddenly. And the winner of the award for Best Animation goes to The Forbidden Zone. No?
The trifecta.
Make it forbidden.
Make it forbidden.
Sick some bitch.
I don't know about y'all, but me and Ernie are the big winners tonight, man. Fucking 3 awards and counting, man. We could go home with 2 more. Fuck. All right, folks. We're down to the final 2. Best Comedy Feature. These are the nominees. The Marshmallow Mystery Tour. Marijuana Minutes. Afternooner. Turbo Cola. And finally, Darts. And the winner for Best Comedy Feature, the award for Best Comedy Feature, the first annual Smodcastle Film Festival, goes to the Marshmallow Mystery Tour. Yeah, fucking heck. Ernie was trying to take your award.
You hear the L, we're like, marijuana!
Well, this has been years in the making, more years than I will admit to you all. It's embarrassing, but I'm so happy to be here. My brother, who we did this together with, can't be here. He knows he shot you, Kevin Smith, at a outside the New York Public Library many years ago. He's a hardworking DP, and he was featuring you so many years ago. You know, he's one of those guys out there with a camera. And the 2 of us wrote and directed this, and we want to thank everybody that believed in it. The lead actor, Jeremy Risch, our parents, my wife, Suhair, my kids who are in it, every Iraqi refugee who we also featured in it. And one last thing I'll tell you all is, did you know that when Roald Dahl wrote Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, that the Oompa Loompas were originally pygmy slaves in Africa? Did you guys know that? Well, that's kind of the origin of this film, was wondering, well, what if we did the real Willy Wonka? Would you still laugh? And I think you still can, but you have to think. And we got a letter from Gene Wilder supporting it when we did it. And it's the greatest thing ever to be here. And thank you to this man for making it real.
Thanks. That's it. Golden Calf!
Thank you.
One award left, ladies and gentlemen. Will Ernie and I win it? Let's find out. Finally, we end with Best Drama Feature, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The nominees for the award for Best Drama in the feature category. 12 Months. Dead on the Vine. Guiltless. Karma Bums. And Maybe Someday. And the winner of the award for Best Drama, the first annual Smodcastle Film Festival, feature category is Dead on the Vine, ladies and gentlemen. Come on up, get your award. Come on up, kids. Group up. Oh my God, he's got the other one too.
Yeah, we're Emmys now.
I didn't want the actors, okay?
How many are you swapping?
This is awesome. This film shouldn't really have existed. You know, we made it out of spite to COVID, I guess. So many of our projects fell apart just as COVID kicked off, and we were all going crazy doing nothing. And so this film is dedicated to everyone that had nothing to do and said yes when we asked them if they'd come to a vineyard in the middle of nowhere just after lockdown and make a fun film with us. And most of them are here, as you can see. So thank you very much. This is Lola, the amazing producer. So say something.
Oh, you want me to say something? Wow, what an amazing experience this has been. Thank you so much. This couldn't have happened without all of the support we had from friends, random people I pulled into the project to come and live on a vineyard. I mean, who wouldn't live on a vineyard, right, for 2 weeks? That was the main selling point of come to work on our film, but it's been an incredible experience, and working with Mark, this director, has been amazing. So on to the next one, yeah?
Thank you, New Jersey.
That's it. No more awards to give out? Kids, since everything is a fucking anecdote to me, I'll tell you a quick story and then we'll get out of here. It's about 30 minutes long. No. When I was at the Sundance Film Festival years ago with my first film, we luckily got in, but I had zero expectation we would ever win anything because, you know, it was very amateurish film and shit like that. We wound up winning the filmmaker trophy that year, and it was so shocking and so unexpected that when Scott Mosier and I got called up and I stumbled up to the fucking podium and stuff, I wasn't nearly as eloquent as anybody tonight. Everybody spoke so fucking well and eloquently and stuff and expressed themselves so perfectly. All I could say, and you can find footage of this, I said, knowing how much I fucking talk, you would imagine, oh my God, this motherfucking blowhard. All I did was get up, hold up their piece of their award, which was a glass, and I was like, this is a really nice piece of glass, thank you. They stopped giving me awards after that. I don't know if the two are combined. Tonight, it was wonderful to listen to everybody get up and speak as they did. Thank you for treating the film festival as seriously as Ernie has treated it, as seriously as we've all treated it. We will definitely be doing this again next year and do it for as long as we've got walls around us.
I'm going to say something about the
And Ernie would like to say something about all the awards that he won tonight.
Well, I want to know whose house they're going to, bitch.
My apartment's very near.
I know, exactly. Oh, shit! That's a good one right there. Again, stop playing with my shit, man. What the fuck, man? Anyway, thank you, but as some of you may know or may not know, we are having a small mixer at the wine bar down the street above the harbor side, which is literally a 1-minute walk. So when you go out of the theater, take a right, head down to the wine bar and join us. So there may have been some confusion to some people, but I will clarify. So if you were nominated, obviously there's 2 of you that were nominated, and we put all that information out. So you're on our list to come to the wine bar. Then we put additional tickets on sale. That sold out really fucking quick. So that 70 additional tickets are also on our list. So if you're on that list, you know who you are. You are all welcome to come to the wine bar after. We would love to have everybody in the whole fucking town be there, but we have a small venue. But next year, the way things have been going, it looks like we're gonna get into a lot bigger house to have a bigger party. So I appreciate all of you for coming out, and thank you very much for coming to the Smodcastle Film Festival. Thank you.
And kids, that's a wrap, man. This was something that at one point in my life I was like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of a fucking convenience store. How are we supposed to pull this off? And Ernie's like, I got you. And he did get me, man. And my God, it turned into a wonderful event. Thank you all for treating it seriously. And thank you all for making your art. Thank you all for making the choice to make a fucking thing. If you do that, I swear to you, you're part of my heart forever. Make things, ladies and gentlemen. Make things, make a thing, make another thing, make another fucking thing. Make 10 more things, and then we die. It's that simple. Thank you all for being here. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
This is the Cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything. Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith. Cheers,